everyone! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bianca and this is Bianca's World, where I make costumes and crochet and pretty much just make whatever pops into my head that day. So today I am going to teach you how I made this beanie. A couple videos back I had mentioned that we would work on a very easy beanie, and I do apologize, it took me a while to finally get there. Other ideas came into my head, so I had to make those first. But we finally are going to get to make this one right here. So I hope that you practice, and if you didn't, that is okay. We will go through the whole steps together, and I will link the other two videos of Learn How to Crochet Part 1 and Part 2 down below in the description box. So if you haven't checked those out, please check those out as well. Please like and subscribe if you do enjoy my content. Share it with friends or family, anyone who might enjoy. And please follow me on Instagram. I am at Mrs. Bebo on Instagram. I'll put my handle down here. And at the very end, I will show you what I had in mind for this orange beanie and why I chose it. It's actually for a costume of a 1990s a 90s cartoon that I really enjoyed as a child. So wait until the end so you can check it out. Alright, let's get our yarn and our crochet hooks and let's get started.
Okay, so we're going to grab our yarn. I have this Red Heart Super Saver. It is a 4 medium weight yarn and it calls for a 5.5 millimeter hook. I don't have a 5.5, so what I'm going to use is a 5.75 millimeter. It's just going to make it a little bit looser. We're going to start off by making a chain of 51. So if you recall in the Learn to Crochet Part 1, I taught you how to hold the yarn and how to start your chain. So if you practice, that's wonderful, and if you don't, I'll put the link down below in the description box on how to start and make a chain. Alright, so you will see your long chain of 51. What we'll do now is look at the chain itself. You see the V's on this side? You're going to turn it over and work on these back loops. You're going to work on the second loop closest to your hook and make a double crochet on that loop. If you remember in Learn to Crochet Part 2 and Stitches, I mentioned that if you work on that back loop, it's going to make it a nice clean edge. So if you haven't checked that out, again, I'll put that on the description box. So right here, as I'm trying to pick something off of my yarn, I'm going to remind you that you can use different type of stitch markers. So I have an actual stitch marker that I was gifted, a little plastic safety pin is what it looks like, a bobby pin, and some excess yarn that I have from a different project. I'm going to mark the first stitch that I made so that I remember as I'm coming back from the second row that that's the last stitch I have to work on. So now we're going to continue working our double crochet all the way down our 50 little back loops. So I'll see you in just a bit as we're done with working all these stitches. Alright, so now that we're finishing off our first row, we're going to finish with a double crochet. You're going to chain 1 and then turn your work. So this is what it's looking like so far. You can still see my stitch marker there. Alright, so I'm going to do that again. We're going to chain 1, turn our work, and then we're going to make a double crochet again, but we're going to work on the back loop of our little V's at the top. Okay? So again, going into only the back loop. What this is going to do is give it kind of like a ridged view when you're working all the way down. It's going to give it a really cool effect. So this is it. You're just going to work the same stitch that we did all the way down. And as a reminder, let's mark our first stitch so that as we're coming back, we're going to be able to remember that this is the last stitch we're going to work on. Okay, so let's keep going. We're going to work all the way down in the back loops of our row, and I'll see you in just a bit. We're coming to the end of our second row, and again, here is our stitch marker, and it's going to help us identify that this is the last stitch I have to work on, and I don't accidentally make an extra one at the end. So again, we're going to chain one, turn our work, and then we're going to do the exact same thing we did. You can see it's a bit of a ridge there, as I was mentioning earlier, and that's normal. So that's what your rectangle is going to look, because that's what we're doing. We're just making a rectangle. So we're back to our work. You're going to chain one, turn it, and again double crochet all the way down in the back loop only, the loop closest to your left hand. And as a reminder, go ahead and use your stitch marker, because this will help you with keeping straight edges. And as a beginner, it's really difficult to have straight edges, so trust me, the stitch markers are really great to use. Thanks to that stitch marker, I knew when to stop making additional stitches. We're going to chain one, turn our work, and do it all over again. Double crochet in the back loops only. So the reason you don't tie the string as a stitch marker is because you're going to take this out at the end of your work. So all you're going to do is pull one of the ends of the string through the first double crochet that you made in this row, and you'll keep making double crochets in the back loops only. This is what it's looking like so far. These are 3 rows, again, of double crochet in the back loops only. You're probably tired of hearing me say that, but you can see as you turn it, you have a bit of a divot on one and then the ridge on the other. And that's the pattern that you're going to see as you continue making a long rectangle of these stitches. So I'm going to make 31 rows and then measure how it'll fit on my head. I'll see you soon.
So now that you have this like really long rectangle, we're going to wrap it around our heads from the base to the top to see if it stretches enough to go around and it's snug, so when we sew it, it doesn't feel like it's gonna fall off, but it doesn't feel like it's hurting your head either. So it feels pretty good for me right now, so I'm gonna leave it like that. Yeah, so let's start sewing this up.
Now we're going to finish the last double crochet, and as we do that, you're going to pull one last time and you're going to pull the whole thread out. So make sure that you cut a really long tail, because we're going to use this tail to sew the edge of the beanie. You're going to use a yarn needle and make sure that you have it all set up and ready to go so we can start sewing the edge. Grab your edge, and as you see, you're going to put the needle through the bottom of the V's. There's going to be a small circle, and that's where you're going to put your needle through. Make sure that you're tightening it as you go, and you're doing this to each pair of stitches to make sure that you're getting them nice and tight and evenly as you go all the way down this ridge. Now that we're coming to the end of our stitching, you're going to make sure to tighten this with 2 knots to make sure it stays nice and stable. You're then going to take the top portion of the beanie and you're going to put your needle through the stitches. You're going to put it through one end and then the other end, and you're going to create kind of like a gathering stitch. So as you pull the thread and push the beanie together, it's going to all cinch up and gather together. As you finish gathering the beanie, you're going to make sure that you pull that thread nice and tight to close the hole at the very top. And what we're going to do now is make sure that we sew the top portion closed so that this doesn't unravel when we're wearing it. So we're going to stick our needle through from one side to the next and just tightening it and sewing it shut. And you're just going to keep doing this until you feel it's fully closed and ready to wear. I do tend to sew this a couple of times, at least once for every stitch that I find, to make sure that it's fully secure and it will not unravel as I'm wearing it. So now that we're finishing our beanie off, we are going to weave in the ends by pulling the string through a couple of stitches before we clip off our strands. After you clip your ends, go ahead and flip the beanie inside out, fold the bottom edge up, and there you have it. You finished your first beanie. Congratulations! It's ready for you to wear. I'm so proud of you.
Alright friends, this is the final product, and you can obviously bring it down, pull this up a little bit more. It just depends on the style that you like. And because it is my channel and I do make costumes, I decided that I wanted to dress up as one of the characters from my childhood. I'm dating myself here. From my childhood favorite cartoons. Can you guys guess? It's Spinelli from the show Recess. So I made this orange beanie because it reminded me of her little orange beanie that she wore. I hope that you enjoyed making the beanie, and if you did, please share it with me on Instagram. Tag me and follow me. My name is @Mrs. Bebo on Instagram. I'd be more than happy to see your final product, and show me if you're going to use it as a costume piece, or just show it to me. I'd love to see it. Alright, well, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like it and subscribe. Check out my other videos as well if you haven't yet, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Very easy beanie, which is this one right here. We're going to go, it's fairly easy. Yeah.